All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this another exclusive edition of the Reality Kenyan. One more time, we are live from the Learned Corner. As you can see, each and every day, we are pleased to have this great statesman, this great gentleman here, each and every day coming up to break it down for us each and every day. Honorable Wakili Willis Otieno, the Deputy Party Leader of Safina Party. Piki Ponki.
Paka Melodies.
Of course, this is a new week. Share with your friends. Let's make it big because a lot has happened and we are here to just look at it briefly as it is always. Karibu sana Wakili.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Thank you, Sim.
It's been a very long weekend.
Yes.
And you've seen the events, everything happening, and the questions are out there that we are going to look at. How can you give a roundup of the weekend?
You know, the two major things that I'll mention today.
Yes.
One, over the week, we saw the emergence of Maina Jenga.
Yes.
Coming out to strongly assert himself and the state going for him.
Yeah.
And surprisingly was the multitudes that came out in front of DCI to speak for him.
Yeah.
And that to me was very telling that maybe there's some simmering discontent with how things are going in the country. And tied to one major issue that it keeps to be a recurring theme and is going to occupy our minds for the next 2 months or so. The Finance Bill 2023. And the poster child of that Finance Bill is what is called the Housing Levy. Which to date has not been, there is no conclusive, comprehensive explanation from its proponents of what this is. What animal is this? You know, it reminds me of back in 1914 when the colonialists came to Kenya. They introduced the hat tax. Hat, H-U-T, hat tax. So if you had your hat, you'll pay a tax to the government.
To live in your hat.
To live in your hat. So now also we are being taxed by government to live in a house. And the unfortunate bit about it is the lack of information and clarity on what this really is. Because on the one hand, you are told the housing levy is saving. Good. But what if I don't want to save? And more so with government. I should have the latitude to choose my saving plan. Number two, why should it be that government deems it necessary that I need to save for the future? Maybe my earnings I'm only able to support myself for today. Why should it be the business of government? Many people have negative balances on their pay slips, in their bank accounts. So people are struggling to live. So even for today, why are you telling them to save for 10 years, 20 years, when they cannot feed themselves today? Number three, you saw the majority leaders say that they are going to, if you withdraw your money after 7 years, you will earn interest. You can opt out, and you earn interest on it. Then the poster child of the housing levy, that is P.S. Inga, comes out and says if you withdraw your money, you will pay tax on it. So you are going to be taxed on your tax. So you pay tax to government, then government comes to tax you on that tax when you want to claim it back. And if the government is going to keep your money for 7 years or 10 years, for whichever period of time, for the 7 years that you've been making this contribution, they are not paying you any interest on it, even if you're withdrawing it. So this lack of clarity. Then we saw the president in Busia
on Sunday.
He spoke that this thing is about those who are employed who have salaries. Should contribute to build houses for those who don't have. Then we also saw P.S. Thing again yesterday saying only those who contribute will get the money, the houses. So the unemployed will not contribute, they will not get the houses per P.S. Finger. But the president, the unemployed, will get houses paid for by those who are employed. So there is no clarity. And also more importantly, you know, even if, let's take the president's word, that those who have pay slips will contribute to bill for those who don't have houses. why should it be the business of someone who is employed, who is facing his own challenges, to build a house for someone who is not working? You know, as a country, we must agree. The ideological foundation of this nation is capitalism. That is our given ideology.
True.
Where we work, and that capitalism that is within what you call ethical parameters. You work, and your sweat pays you, and you are able to, in a free market, a liberalized market, make a decision on how you are going to use your money.
True.
Government should not have any business determining for you how you are going to use your money. And it's not the business of someone who is employed to build a house for someone who is unemployed. And it's also not the business of someone who is employed to be forced to contribute to a fund so that we can create jobs for those who are not employed. It is the business of government to provide a facilitative environment so that the private sector, you and I, when we see the facilitative environment, and we will be driven by what you call market forces, and we should be able to put up those houses if the market requires it. So that, you know, government, when government becomes a constructor or a businessman, government is the worst businessman. Government is the worst businessman. It cannot do business. Its priorities may not be responding to the market needs, and it's very inefficient and prone to a lot of bureaucracy. So it cannot deliver. So, and you can never grow an economy when the government is doing everything.
True.
An economy only grows when the private sectors are driving it. That is what my party leader Jimmy Wanjiki calls, we will do politics on the supply side, not the demand side. The demand side is where government is the one doing everything. We will build for you houses. We will provide fertilizer. We will do this. On the supply side, government just provides a facilitative environment. Then the private sector, once they see an opportunity, they will invest their money. Because look at, for example, what the government experienced in trying to be the driver of development. They went around borrowing all over the world. We are not able to see what they did with that money. They've messed up our market. Today, a bank will not lend money to you, Simi. They don't even care about your money by the way. Because you are a high risk. They are better off lending their money to government. And when Simi goes to the same bank to borrow money, you'll be asked 1 million questions. And the interest rates also very prohibitive. You are told to pay interest rates of between 14 to 20%. Now, if you are told to pay interest rate of 20% and you want to do a business, what is the competitive edge? Because it means even the cost of paying for that loan by itself, your business may not be able to sustain it. So one way that government, for example, in terms of providing a facilitative environment, government could have gotten out of domestic borrowing. Free the banks. Don't borrow money from the banks. Then now the banks will come to you and I and start begging us, please come and borrow money to do business at low interest rates.
Because the government at that time is not
borrowing from them. So they are freed. They have a lot of money. They need to invest. They need to make returns. The primary person they've been targeting, the government, is no longer borrowing from them. So they must start looking for us. And to entice me to borrow, they will give me a lower interest rate. It's basic economics. And you can imagine if the banks were all over looking for all Kenyans, that we all go and borrow. We all have access to reasonable and cheap credit at low interest rates. Somebody gives you a loan of even 100 million at a rate of 4%.
Or even this 3%.
Even they give you at 3%, 4%. You can go to Homa Bay and you can put up a wonderful fish processing plant or even fish cages. Knowing very well that this is money that I'll be able to pay back. Right? Because the banks will be on your case. You're able to quickly get access to credit facilities. So that to me is where this present administration have lost sight of how we are going to spur growth and development. So we are now a communist state, so to speak. Government wants to build for all of us houses. I don't know who told government all of us want to live in Nairobi or in the urban centers. Because if you tell me that you're going to build houses in the urban centers, My great-grandmother is living in the village.
Yeah.
So are we going to carry her from the village to come and live in the city because she's unemployed? Yeah, even if you are building for the unemployed. I don't intend to live in the city forever. I want to live in my village.
Yes.
So these houses they're forcing me to own in the city. What is it? But if you have a private sector-driven growth plan,
Yes.
the private sector will follow you to where you are and provide the facilities that you need in that locality at a lower cost. Then at the same time, you note in the finance bill, they've raised the cost of building materials, the tax by 30%.
Just imagine.
So why, what is it? What is the overriding, overarching theme or philosophy that informs these changes? Because you can't be saying we are robust that the problem of the country today is housing and we want to work on housing. Then on the same breath, you take away, you make the cost of building very expensive by introducing this huge tax
on building materials.
So that's a loss. If government wanted to do a housing development project,
Yeah.
the best approach is the private sector driven, where the private sector should be the one, once they were given a facilitative environment,
Yeah.
private sector will follow the market where it is and build those houses. And Kenyans will be able, based on their earning capacities, to afford. Right now in Kilimani, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
it was almost very few people had access, who were able to live in a place like Kilimani. Because they were low-lying houses,
Yeah.
maisonette largely.
Yeah.
They were a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
The Chinese came into the market, they saw a niche, that people want to live in this neighborhood, called the leafy suburbs, and they put up flats.
True.
And those flats, now if before you were to spend 50 million to buy a flat, a house, a unit in Kilimani, you can now get a flat in Kilimani at 8 million, 10 million.
Just imagine.
And you still get the same neighborhood. But that is now private sector driven. Because the market will go, the businessman will go where the market is.
Yeah.
You've seen, for example, there's some projects you've seen coming up where you find one-bedroom houses are going for even 4 million Kenyan shillings.
And
Some are saying 3 million shillings.
Yeah.
Because that is the private sector chasing the market where it is. Because once the private sector, for example, catches a particular market and they see that market is getting saturated, they'll be forced to now pursue the next available market.
Yeah.
So if the next available market is low-cost housing, that's why you see that Great Wall development in that river.
Yeah.
They have identified a niche, which
Yeah.
market they want to reach out to. And they're building.
And it's
Those
working.
low-cost housing and people are occupying them.
Yes.
I think they're now doing phase 5, if I'm not wrong. So that is happening without any intervention by government.
Yeah.
Not even a single government coin is going in. Now, if government came up with policies and programs that reduce the cost of putting up such structures, it will be me and you saying that, let me look for land, for example, in Rongai or Ngong. You have access to a cheaper credit facility.
Yes.
And I'm saying that the niche here, I can put up a house that if the building materials are also cheap,
Yeah.
let me put up an apartment block and I can sell it at 1 million, 1 bedroom. So I will look for where that market is, those who are able to afford,
Yeah.
young upcoming professionals,
Yeah.
or even laborers,
Yeah.
that with the credit facility I have, even them, they can access credit facilities from the banks,
From the banks
and come and
1 million.
1 million shillings, and they own the houses. So, and that will be all over the country. Private sector driven, supply side economics. Not saying that government is going to build for you. So how many projects will they build? Because if someone put it, when Uhuru came up with this idea in the first place, when he came up with his big four, he said he wanted to build 500,000 houses.
Affordable housing.
Affordable housing.
Yes.
And he was targeting 500,000 houses per year.
Yeah.
Somebody said then you're running late because for you to get to 5,000 houses per year, 500,000 houses every year,
Yeah.
you need to be building 10,000 houses per day. Yeah, you need to get to 10,000 houses per day.
And these are flats.
You're running late, yes. No, it was 5,000 houses per day.
Per day.
For you to achieve your target. So you're running late. So you better hurry up in your project.
Yes.
Time is of essence. So even this one,
Yeah.
because you saw the Jubilee administration didn't deliver.
Yeah.
They tried, but they didn't get to the 500,000. I don't even think they got to 10,000 houses for the entire period they were doing the affordable housing.
Yeah.
That is the liturgy of government, when the government wants to do everything. But the bulk of the houses in this country, over 80% of our houses, have been put up by the private sector.
Yeah.
So why do you want to reinvent the wheel?
And do the 80%.
Do it yourself, the 80%. No, just simply find ways in which you can spur this private sector to put up more houses. And private sector is everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone who is not government is private sector. I'm not even saying there's a private developer somewhere who will be doing it. No. It should be anybody who sees an opportunity, you and I.
And is able to facilitate.
And is able to get government facilitating it, you're able to get a facility, and you put up the houses.
Yeah.
You can even go and put up a house in Diedo, apartment block in Diedo.
And in Diedo, they rent even $50.
Doors, yes. And you say these are now, we are even selling it to people in Diedo center.
Yes.
Say this house will sell to you at even 500,000 Kenya shillings.
Yeah.
And you have a beautiful furnished apartment.
One bedrooms
In Diedo. Because that is where you may have seen a market niche.
Yeah.
Somebody else will see a market niche somewhere in Mwega.
Yeah.
Another one will say, let me do the same in Kapongzweni, in Machakos.
Yeah.
Right? So you're seeing it spreading all over the country.
True.
People investing, and then you recover this.
Yeah.
But when it's government, you are limited, you are restricted. The legislature of government will not be able to deliver.
Yeah.
Because your reach is a problem, the cost will be very expensive, and you don't even have the resources. That is why you are now forcing a housing fund on your citizens.
Yes.
And Kenyans have, with near unanimity,
Yeah.
I believe, expressed their total rejection of this housing fund.
Yeah.
And this is the time that we will have to pay keen attention to members of parliament.
Yes.
Because the concept of representative democracy is that the elected representatives are meant to represent the people who elect them.
Yeah.
You are supposed to take their sentiments to their guest house and represent them in the manner in which you vote, in the manner in which policies are passed.
Yeah.
So that if the representatives of the people become rogue, that they no longer represent their people,
Yeah.
then there is a course of action that the people should have against them. And we need to soberly debate this issue.
Yeah.
And give Kenyans a clear reason why the housing fund. If the philosophy is good, the explanation should be simple and easily understandable.
Yeah.
As it is now, many Kenyans, I believe I speak for a majority,
Yeah.
have not been able to fully understand what this housing levy is about,
Yeah.
and what it is going to achieve, how it's going to be rolled out. So the public buy-in has not been achieved.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the public buy-in on such a huge project that has significant financial repercussions, not just to the government but also to the people,
Yeah.
then you, as a prudent leader, you step back and have a conversation with your people.
Yeah.
Let's debate this issue. Let's cook it further. Let's find ways in which the people will see sense, if there is in it, and then let them carry them along when you implement this. But if you try to force people to contribute,
And they're not understanding.
what it is about, so that when it fails, you will be the one solely responsible. But if you carry the people along with you in this kind of an engagement,
Yeah.
then they will be able to walk through with you, even when there are challenges.
Yeah.
They'll be able to understand and give their contribution to how to overcome those challenges. But what I see, in my view, is that this is going to be a long shot. You cannot ram such a painful bill in the minds of Kenyans.
Yeah.
And also we need to be very careful that we don't turn this into a conversation about the jobless and employed.
True.
Kenyans need not be divided along social lines. That it is about those who are employed and the unemployed.
Yeah.
And because number one, anybody who is unemployed does not wish it upon themselves. Everybody hopes to one day get employed.
Yeah.
And if you start creating these class divisions in the community, you don't know when it will end. Because then it may reach a point where somebody just says that even you see me, why are you wearing a green suit? It's because you have more than I have.
Give me that suit.
Give me that suit. That is how society is disintegrated.
Yes.
So the focus should be on the issue.
Yeah.
Gaslighting should not be the norm, because for me that is purely gaslighting. You are doing what in America they call the dog whistle.
Dog whistle.
Dog whistle.
Yes.
Yes. So you are whistling to your dog to attack by giving it a sign.
Yes. Sika.
Sika. Your problem is caused by Sika. So the dog is going after the person. No.
Yeah.
Let's just discuss, debate the issue. There is nothing about unemployed and employed here. This is about governance and where we are going to carry the country into the future. So those are my views on this particular point. That on this matter of the housing levy, I don't believe Kenyans are in it. We still have other issues in the finance bill, which are going to cause a lot of challenges to the people of Kenya. And I always urge my listeners to brace themselves. You've seen the VAT on fuel is going to increase from 8% to 16%.
Yeah, almost double.
Double.
Yes.
So we are staring at a likelihood that for the first time in the history of Kenya, we'll be buying a liter of fuel at no less than 200 Kenya shillings. It is going to go higher than even 200. And just imagine the correlative effect when the cost of fuel goes up. It means that the cost of all other goods will also go up. Yeah, because fuel is a very major contributor to the cost of production.
Yeah.
And anytime the cost of production to anybody who is producing any good goes up, that extra cost is transferred
to the product,
to the final consumer.
Yes.
So it is the consumer who will bear this ultimate cost of the increased VAT on fuel.
Yeah.
And this is happening at a time when the people of Kenya are reeling from very dire economic strains.
Yeah.
And you can see already at the seams, people are getting jittery. Unga is 250 shillings, kg, 2 kg.
Yes.
A kg of sugar is 250 shillings.
250 shillings. The government keep insisting the unga is 170.
170. But you know, this unga for 170, no one seems to find it.
Yes.
No one seems to know where it is. In fact, maybe there should be special zones where Kenyans should go to collect the 170 unga.
Yes.
And you know, it is very sad that we are actually now accepting it as a norm, that unga can be 170. Because that is your basic staple. Unga is your basic staple in this country, ugali.
It is like you should be having a house. And
it's a basic staple. That's what many people run on.
Yeah.
Ugali. Many households have ugali on the table.
Yeah.
How many Kenyans earn more than $1 a day? That is 140 shillings per day.
Yeah.
If you look at the statistics, the numbers are gory. More than 3 million Kenyans earn less than $1 a day. Now, if the price of 2 kg packet of unga is 250, then it means if this person has a family of 4 or 5, they can barely sustain themselves in 2 days
With this particular
packet of unga, because that unga was just an accompaniment. You know, when the Mzungus introduced ugali, unga, you know, ugali is not an African.
Oh.
Yeah, maize was a foreign introduction to the country. We didn't have maize grown in the country back in the pre-colonial days.
Yeah.
Africans used to eat cassava, millet, sorghum. Maize was not part of our diet.
Yeah.
So ugali was not our diet. But the colonialists brought ugali because ugali will fill the stomach.
For some time.
Yeah, so that even if you can be given ugali and your stomach is full, then you go to work for the rest of the day. So that has become, I mean, the people of Kenya have owned it as a staple of food now.
Yeah.
And many Kenyans survive on ugali in the stomach, just to fill the stomach.
Yeah.
The nutritious value of ugali is not that great.
Yes.
Nothing much it adds in your body. But an empty stomach, at least it will stop the stomach from rumbling. So this being the basic, this being the step of the country,
Yeah.
we need to always try to make sure that as many as possible of our people should be able to afford to access this step.
Yeah.
Because it's what basically keeps going. So when it becomes too expensive and out of reach, that is when you start finding children suffering from malnutrition, underfed kids, and it affects even at the workplace, even the adults.
Yeah.
When you are not well fed, you are not able to fully deliver to your best.
Yeah.
Because hunger is a bad thing.
So, Wakili, if you look at this finance bill, at this point, can we rely on the MPs and the senators as the only savior towards this particular bill?
At this point, being a bill that has been tabled before Parliament,
Yes.
they are the first point of call in any intervention.
Yeah.
So we'll watch how they will debate and pass resolutions on the contents of the bill. But you hope they will be able to, reason will prevail, and whatever is harmful we will be able to take out. Or they will just pass it as it is. But there's always the second tier, which is anybody can always go to court to challenge any provision of the finance bill or act if it is passed. And the courts will have to look at the merits of the case and make a determination. But also ultimately, Article 1 of the Constitution vests sovereign power on the people of Kenya, and which sovereign power they can exercise either directly or through democratically elected representatives. If the people's elected representatives are not able to champion this cause very well, then the people always have an option to publicly voice their displeasure and now invoke the provisions of Article 37 to peaceably and armed to demonstrate and to picket, to say no to this pain that the finance bill is promising them. So those are avenues, in my view, that can be invoked in expressing people's displeasure with the finance bill. And you saw yesterday the trade unions in the public sector, they held their peaceful demonstration in which they communicated their displeasure with the proposed finance bill, specifically the housing levy and some components of the increased taxes, which they say they are not comfortable with. So you'll see more of those kind of public demonstrations of different sectors coming out to say this is not tenable to ourselves. You know, the concept of governance, it's about people coming together and they donate part of their power to the elected representatives. It doesn't mean that the person to whom power is donated has some special knowledge and he has now what you can even call exclusive domain to exercise it. No, you must always still refer back to the people because it's a donated power. And the most important part of exercising donated power is that you are representing the sentiments, the feelings, and the aspirations of the people who donated to you that power. So that you should not move so far away from what the donor desires. I noticed some members of parliament saying yesterday that sometimes as a leader, you must show the people where they need to go. It's not the people who should show you where to go.
Where they want to go.
No. That is wrong. As a leader, you guide the people. You don't force them. And more so when they have expressed themselves strongly on such an issue, then it doesn't hurt to take a step back and understand what informs these kind of feelings and how can you work with the people. Because even as you're showing people where to go, you're only going to show them if they're coming along with you.
If they are following you.
They are following you, because you may be showing them where to go, but you are on your own. They are not following you. So you need to carry the people along with you. As even you say, I'm showing you the way, but you make sure they're behind you. They're following you. You can't be showing them the way when you are going towards south, then they're going towards north. That is opposite directions. You will be walking alone. And that is not leadership. Leadership is when people are able to come along with you, to walk with you to the direction that will improve their lot.
Wow. And the other day, I think it was on Sunday in Busia, Honorable Okia Omtata, if this bill proceeds, he will be tempted to go to court to stop it, which is one of the avenues that you have mentioned. You are a renowned senior counsel. Do you think if that time comes, you might also be part of you might also take it on your own, or as a Safina party, to go that direction and handle it if
I may get involved depending on the clients who approach me. As a person, I work with several non-governmental organizations who advocate for the socio-economic rights. And I know there have been discussions ongoing in some of the forums on some of the provisions of the finance bill, including the housing one. So if the time comes that Parliament does not, and the clients, they may tell me that this is something we need to take up, I'll be more than willing to offer my services to them and to the people of Kenya to see to it that we have a bill, a finance bill that is responsive to the needs of the people, not one that is punitive to the people. The people of Kenya have not done anything wrong to be punished with an act of Parliament. Yes.
And of course, Wakili, as we almost come to an end of this, just I think over the weekend, the other opposition team, that is the Azimio Brigade, also said that if all this proceeds, they might be tempted to come up with a secession a program, you know, to make sure that the people who have sponsored the bill and made it survive on their own, and they also come up with their own finance bills and all that. What's your general take on this? Just
for me, I believe in one united Kenya. I don't support any calls for secession. We are one united Kenya and indivisible. And I don't think that, my view is that I don't think they meant it to literally secede and create a new republic. But it's more maybe an expression of disgust at how part of the political leadership is trying to run the country to the exclusion of others. But as a country, our strength is in our unity. And the fact that you have a political leadership that is not responsive to the needs of Kenyans, I don't believe that the answer is in the country tearing apart. The disagreement that we have in the political scene, we just need to sensitize the people to deal with that problem. It is the politicians who need to be seceded, not the people, not the country. So that when the opportunity comes to secede, we will secede Kenya Kwanza and put in Safina Party as the new leadership. Because I intend to be the deputy president one day of the United Republic of Kenya, not of a smaller corner of the republic. And I assure you that in terms of the ideas that we have, we will run an administration that is responsive to all Kenyans, irrespective of their ethnicity, where they come from, religion, color, class differences, level of education, social background, so that, because everybody brings something to the table. In everybody, there is something that they contribute to what we call the social fabric of Kenya. And you want to benefit from their participation and their ideas and their engagement in the united Kenya that we have. So that as Safina, as we look, Safina it was a vessel that was meant to bring everybody. Those who believed in the Lord's cause. That it was time for the new world order to emerge. People came, plus animals, two into wawili kwa wawili. In Safina. And they entered the ark. So also for us, we want Kenyans all in twos. Wawili kwa wawili. Waingie Safina. And we'll be able to move forward as a country, united as one, not divided, that some feel that we are not represented or we are not wanted in this common country that we call Kenya. We will want every voice to be respected, and every voice must be responded to in a way that they feel that their contribution is necessary and that they are needed in the country called Kenya.
Wow. And of course, as you say, Safina is the ark that is about to save Kenyans.
Yes.
The rain is coming.
The rain is coming.
Yes.
That one I've always said.
Yes.
The rain is coming, and you can already, in fact, the floods.
Yes.
We can already see mawingu yametanda, and we can see the signs are all there.
Yeah.
And Kenyans are feeling the pain.
Yes.
The wrath of God is here upon us, and for us to get salvation,
Yes.
let us get into the Lord's vessel, the Lord's ark,
Yes.
Safina.
Yes.
And Safina will take us all to Mount Ararat,
Yes.
and we'll be saved from what is coming. And this is not just by chance.
Yeah.
If you look at the pain that Kenyans, I don't think there's any generation of Kenyans that have gone through such painful economic experience that this generation has done. This is the most punished generation in the history of this republic, in my view. If it is not insecurity, it is hunger, it is health,
Yes.
a messed education system.
True.
We are the most punished.
Everything.
Everything
Yeah.
wrong that can.
Unemployment.
Unemployment. People with PhDs don't have jobs.
Yeah.
Graduates don't have jobs. Young people, you go to junior secondary, you don't even know what is going on there. Some sat for a whole term without being taught even basic English. Now, we are the generation that is suffering
Yes.
in a way that this country has never suffered.
Yeah.
And this will be the future. So that, for me, these are what I call the floods. We are flooding. These people are drowning.
Yeah.
If you are not getting good health care, you don't have security, you are dying of hunger, cost of living is up, you are unemployed, you're not getting good education.
Yes.
What hunger are you looking for?
You are as good as dead.
You're as good as dead. You are drowning.
Yeah.
You're actually drowning.
Yeah.
And this thing is killing you slowly by the day. So come into the ark.
Yes. And get saved.
Get saved.
By the captain.
By
and
the captain and deputy.
Yes.
We will take you with the Lord's guidance
Yes.
to the top of Mount Ararat.
Wow.
And Kenya will be a better country
Yes.
to the future.
Wow. And as we wind up, let us all remind our fans and our followers and our viewers how to join the ark. How do someone become a member of Safina Party one more time?
You simply go to our website, www.safina.co.ke, and you will find an application form. If you belong to a political party, you can write to the registrar of political parties. There are forms to any of the offices. You fill the form and say, I'm leaving my political party, I'm now joining Safina. And they'll change your details on the system. And you can also visit our offices at View Park Towers. You drop in, you just go with a copy of your ID, because you have to be an adult.
Yeah.
You go with a copy of your ID, and we enlist you as a member of Safina Party.
Wow.
And from that day henceforth,
Yes.
the Lord's hand shall be upon you.
Yeah.
And very soon you will see the rainbow as a sign that the future is luminous.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Wakili.
Thank you.
May God bless you.
Thank you very
and
much.
of course, each and every person who has been watching, this is the Reality Kenya, and my name is Simi Kenya. Till next time, may God bless you. That is enough for today. We don't need to add anymore.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Okay.
Asante sana.